Hi, I'm Craig Rowland, founder of Sandfly Security. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to install Sandfly's agentless intrusion detection and incident response platform for Linux. Within a few minutes, you're going to be up and going and protecting your Linux fleet. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to head over to github.com/sandflysecurity. We have a variety of open source projects here, but what we're interested in today is Sandfly-setup. The Sandfly setup area has all of our install scripts. Now, traditionally, people might want to do a git clone to pull these over. We no longer recommend that mechanism. What we want you to do instead is to go down here to our releases area. We're going to click on the latest release, and this is going to take you to the full package bundle that includes all the executables necessary in order to run our product. And why this is very powerful is because our product is pretty unique in the industry. Not only are we agentless, meaning you don't need to deploy any agents on your endpoint, which is remarkably good for compatibility and safety, but also we can work on air-gapped and isolated environments out of the box. Our product does not require any cloud or internet access in order to work. That means it doesn't send any telemetry to us or to third parties, but it also means you can run the full featured product without needing to have any type of internet access, which is really powerful, especially for a lot of our customers that tend to be enterprises and critical infrastructure. By pulling over the full TAR bundle here, you can simply download it, put it inside your protected segments that you need. At that point, run the full installation and get the full power of Sandfly without any further hassle. So what I'm going to do now is I pulled that over. We're now going to head over to the terminal and we're going to go ahead and finish our installation. Okay, I've downloaded the package onto my isolated system and we're now ready to go. So here we are in the terminal and we are going to show you now that I have the full package. We're going to do tar xvf Sandfly setup. And then we're going to pull that into the Sandfly directory. It's going to unpack down there. And we're in the Sandfly setup directory. And you can see here we have basic things here, such as our license README information, plus our SHA-512 hashes of the binaries if you want to check it. We're going to go to the setup directory. And if you look under this directory, we have a few scripts. But the first thing I should explain to you is we need Docker or Podman in order to run. It's a very commonly available packages on most Linux operating systems, so just make sure they're installed ahead of time. We're now going to run install.sh. This is going to go ahead, it's going to unpack those files and pull them into the Docker instance. And then we're going to be asked two questions. But while this is happening, I should also explain to you that you could always go to docs.sandflysecurity.com, and that's going to have full installation instructions, plus details on what we suggest for server specifications, installation architecture, plus full product operation manual. Or you can go to support.sandflysecurity.com, and for licensed customers, you can contact our support team with any installation questions, and we're happy to help. Now, during this process here, as it completes, we're going to be asked two questions, and then the installation is going to be basically finished. The first question we see here is essentially, what is our IP address or host name of our server? This has to be a resolvable host name or a live IP address for the interface. It cannot be localhost. It needs to be something that's reachable. We're going to use an IP address today. I'm going to hit enter. We're going to initialize a database, create some cryptographic keys. And then the final question we're going to be asked is whether or not we want a signed certificate for the server. Now, if you're on the internet, you can hit yes here and we'll use EFF certbot to give you a signed certificate. If you're on an isolated system or you're a corporate enterprise that has your own certificate authority, please read docs.sandflysecurity.com. And again, we'll explain to you how to insert a signed certificate into that system. But at this point here, we're not going to make a signed certificate. I'm just going to put down no. And then I'm going to go ahead here. And this is our password. This is uniquely generated for each installation, of course. Obviously here, it's a Diceware style password. So I'm going to go ahead and save that over here to my notes. Now at this point, the server is ready to be started. So we're going to go up one directory, and you can see here under the Start Scripts directory, I'm going to go to Start Scripts, and under here we have a variety of scripts to start. We're just going to do Start Sandfly. At that point here, we're going to get a warning, and the server is basically saying, hey, the scanning node configuration files are located on the same box as the server. We don't recommend this. For a home user, this might be fine. For enterprise users, we really want to have the server and the scanning nodes on separate boxes for higher security installations, which again, you can read about in our documentations. But in this case here, we're just going to say, yes, we are aware that the node is on the same box. We don't care. And it's going to start. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start the node. So the scanning node's here going to start, and it's going to connect to the server, and everything is ready to go. So now at this point, we're going to hop over to the browser and do a quick login and make sure everything is up and going. So let's do that now. Okay, we're back in our browser and we're connecting to the IP address. And the first thing we're going to get in our case for our demonstration is it's going to say, hey, your connection is not private, because we basically have an unsigned certificate. We know that because we didn't want one signed. So I'm just going to hit advanced. I'm going to hit proceed to the site and just accept the fact that we know that it's going to be an unsigned certificate. At this point, I type in admin. I put in that password that was generated during the installation. And obviously, once you log in, you're going to want to change the password. So we're going to log onto that box and be ready to go. Now, the first thing we're going to do here, and then we'll be up and going, is we're going to agree to the EULA agreement here that basically says in typical software licensing terms. We hit yes, and then we're going to put in our license key. Now, there are two ways to license Sandfly. One is the online license code, which I'm using here. This requires an active internet connection for the product to check into the licensing server. And the other way is what we call an air-gapped license. Again, Sandfly is unique in this aspect that we could work completely independent of the internet. We do not require any internet access to work, with full features and capabilities identical to the online version. So if you need one of those licenses, reach out to us and we'll get that to you. I'm now going to simply do add license. And at that point, we're ready to go. The dashboard comes up and we're going to proceed to our next steps, which are covered in our other videos about adding hosts, credentials, and doing our scans. So that's basically it. Within a couple minutes here that you saw in the demonstration video, Sandfly's agentless intrusion detection system for Linux is up and going in an air-gapped environment and basically ready to go. So let's go ahead then and check out our other videos, and we'll show you how to do the rest of the setup of the product and get you up and going. I'm Craig Rowland, founder of Sandfly. Thanks again for watching, and goodbye.